I never believed in the supernatural until that fateful night on the train. It was supposed to be a routine journey back home, but as I settled into my seat, the train seemed different, older, like something out of an earlier era, with dim lighting and wooden panels that creaked with every movement. The passengers were few, each absorbed in their own world. An old man reading a newspaper, a young couple whispering to each other, a woman staring blankly out of the window. There was an eerie stillness in the air, a sense of anticipation that made my skin crawl. As the train plunged into the night, the landscape outside became a blur of shadows and moonlight. I tried to sleep, but a feeling of unease kept me awake. That's when I noticed something odd. The train was passing the same old decrepit station again and again. I rubbed my eyes, thinking it was a trick of the light or my weary mind, but there it was. Every time we rounded the bend, panic set in as I realized we were trapped in a loop. The other passengers seemed oblivious, locked in their own repetitive actions. The old man would fold his newspaper, nod off, then jolt awake and start reading again. The couple would laugh, kiss, then return to hushed whispers. The woman's gaze never left the window, her expression unchanging. I moved through the train, trying to find the conductor or any sign of normalcy. Each car was the same, passengers caught in their own time loop, unaware of the looping journey. I reached the last car and found it empty, save for a mirror at the end. In the mirror, I saw the reflection of the train, but it was different, twisted and dark, with ghostly figures roaming the aisles. A chill ran down my spine as the realization hit me. We were not just trapped in a loop, we were caught between two worlds, the living and something else. The mirror was a gateway, a glimpse into that other haunting reality. As the train continued its endless journey, I began to hear whispers, voices that seemed to come from the mirror. They spoke of lost souls and unfinished business, of a train that carried the dead to their final resting place. I understood then that I was not just a passenger. I was a witness to something beyond comprehension. Nights turned into days, and days into nights. The train became my sorely trial. The passengers, my silent companions in this endless journey. I searched for answers, for a way to break the cycle, but every clue led back to the mirror and the ghostly world it reflected. The story of the night train remains a mystery, a journey with no beginning or end. I am still here writing these words in the hope that they will be found by someone, anyone. The train continues its journey through the night, a spectral vessel on tracks that lead to nowhere and everywhere. Days or perhaps weeks had passed since I first boarded the train. Time seemed meaningless in this liminal space. I had explored every inch of the train, each car a self-contained universe, trapping its occupants in a never-ending cycle. The mirror at the end of the train continued to haunt me, its surface a window to a world that was both terrifying and mesmerizing. In my endless wanderings, I came across a small locked door near the back of the train. It was an anomaly, different from the other parts of the train, its existence seemingly unnoticed by the other passengers. My curiosity piqued. I managed to pry it open. Beyond the door lay a narrow corridor, dimly lit and lined with old photographs and newspaper clippings. They told stories of people who had vanished without a trace, and their faces staring back at me, eyes filled with the same confusion and fear I felt. At the end of the corridor, I found a small, dusty cabin. Inside, an old radio crackled to life as I entered. A voice, ethereal and distant, began to speak. "You are the chosen witness," it said, "the one to break the cycle." The voice told me of the train's origin, a phantom vessel that traversed the boundaries of reality, collecting souls who were caught in the throes of their unresolved past. It was a purgatory on rails, a place for those who were unable to move on. To free yourself and the others, you must resolve the unfinished stories, the voice continued. Only then will the train reach its final destination. Armed with this newfound knowledge, I returned to the passengers. I started with the old man, delving into his past, uncovering a tale of guilt and a lost love. With each story I unraveled, a passenger would vanish, released from the train's grasp. The young couple was next, their laughter masking a tragic accident that had bound them to the train. The woman by the window mourned a child she had left behind. One by one, I helped them confront their past, and one by one they disappeared. Finally, only I remained. The train now an empty shell, its once bustling compartments silent and desolate. I returned to the mirror, the last piece of the puzzle. In it, I saw my own reflection, but behind me stood all the passengers I had helped, their faces peaceful, free from the torment that had held them captive. The train started to slow, the scenery outside changing, becoming brighter, more tangible. With a jolt, it came to a stop at a station I recognized, my original destination, the end of the line. I stepped off the train, the cool air of the real world, a stark contrast to the suffocating atmosphere of the train. Turning back, I watched as the train and the mirror faded away, dissolving into the ether. The night train's journey had ended, its passengers freed. But the memories of that otherworldly voyage lingered, a haunting reminder of the thin veil between life and death, and the stories that bind us all.